you said that men should pay. Why?
I don't know. It's just my opinion. If the man is asking me out, then yeah, I think he should pay. If I'm asking him out, I don't know.
He should still pay?
No, I don't think. I've never asked a guy out.
Well, okay. So
I've never been in the situation where I've even had to pretend to get my wallet out. It's always been the man pursuing me,
okay.
I guess.
But
and I just prefer it that way.
You prefer, okay.
Yeah, I'd prefer a man who takes action and is kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't want to say like, I don't even know a good word to put it, but I'd want him to be like, just taking action. Being a man, I guess.
Being the leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not really the leader, but just being a man and stepping up and and
being
paying.
the man, stepping up.
Doing his manly duties.
Stepping up and not being the leader.
Doing his manly duties.
Okay,
Doing his manly duties.
That's an interesting exchange because that word comes up a lot. It's a trigger word for feminists. It also goes with leader is also like head of household. For some reason, when you say head of household, it's an immediate trigger. You know, the horns go up, they start, it's like fires coming out of their mouth like a dragon. They lose their minds. Why do you think it is that even though she's articulating to you that she does want a man to be a leader, that word, she can't swallow it? Why?
Oh, because it's in their little feminist hate handbook. Like, don't ever acknowledge man positively. Like, when in doubt, you're probably being oppressed. Like, it's just, when in doubt, you know, take advantage of a man that can benefit you in any way possible. She was saying, like, you know, oh, I think a man should pay for the first date and do all these things. And, you know, all women are 10s, you know, all these just female centric talking points that were just not based in reality. You know, so I think they feel like they're so afraid of men and they so really don't understand men. That's the root of it all. That the only way for them to protect themselves mentally from this fear of men is for them to have total control. Mm-hmm. And for them not to be the leader, then guess what that means? It means they're not in control in their little crazy ideology handbook. So anything that puts a man above them or, you know, like a lot of these girls, Jed, they really view men as a second-class citizen who has to like prove to her that he's not an idiot just because she perceives herself to have some like, you know, social superiority to the man because he is a man and she is a woman. She has like this divine woke, you know, blessing upon her, the goddess of being a female. It's insane. It's crazy. And like, I'm not making this up. I'm not like a jaded, bitter old man in my mother's basement. Like, I'm a successful guy. I'm good looking and women like me, you know, and I'm out here and I've been doing this I've been doing the field work and getting data from guys and stuff and witnessing this entitlement. Like, you know, I've been dealing with these chicks all the way back on, good Lord, 2020 when I was on the Fresh and Fit dealing with these crazy girls, 2020, 2021, 2022, you know, 2023, just a new batch of crazies. It's nothing new. It's just like, you know, the average guy is kind of grown so callous to it. They just call everything like this clown world. Like, this is clown world, you know? Yeah. I mean, you talk about it on your show. There's all this clown world stuff going on, and these kind of crazy woke people are no different.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You said that you mentioned second-class citizens. I think oftentimes women, these modern women, do view men that way as second-class citizens. And I think part of that is because media often presents men as so dumb and incapable. Like, oh, here's another fat guy. Here's another guy who doesn't have a job. Here's another guy who's a dad but can't manage to pick the kids up at school on time. Here's another, you know, it's always guys just failing. So you absorb that content from media so regularly as a young woman, and then you internalize it and you're like, well, that's what men are doing. Oh, I can't lean on a man. I can't rely on a man. They're a hot mess. I need to be the sturdy one. I need to be the one in charge and command. What's interesting to me about it is that in the same breath, a lot of these women also view men as violent by nature, dangerous by nature. There was an exchange that you had with respect to this. Let's go to number 6, 11741, and then we'll get your reaction. And then we'll get to the chat, guys. So if you're in the chat and you have a comment, get on in there.
The leader thing really does trigger chicks. Like even when we had like a discussion on Valuetainment Money, my first time ever there, like Natalia and I had a little back and forth that went a little viral on my channel because she was a little upset with how I defined the leader, which is man leads, woman follows. Because I think Adam was trying to tiptoe in between. He's like, so you're not saying like man leads, woman follows. I'm like, no, actually, I am saying that. And then Monica, Swedish Bella, was on the panel with me. She's, happily married. And she's like, yeah, that's exactly how I do it in my house. But like, again, the young girls, if they feel they need to relinquish even 1% of control to a man, they're just like, oh my God, like my life is in danger. The patriarchy is going to kill me because I learned this in this indoctrination camp over here they call university. So
yeah, it's also like it's hard to visualize that if you don't have somebody, like if you're not with somebody that you fully trust, if you've had an experience with a guy where you've not trusted them, you kind of lose touch with that sentiment when you're very young. I think it's hard. Like what does follow mean? They can't visualize that. Once when you're older, like me, somebody who, has a husband, has a child, lives in a home, understands what financial responsibilities look like, understand how men and women are different because it manifests naturally when you have a healthy home. Like it's much simpler because a lot of those things naturally fall into place unless you're resisting them. But when you're young, before you have those things, I think it's really hard for young women to understand. It almost seems like, are you trying to oppress me? What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Is there going to be something going on that's, force? Like they imagine like a woman handcuffed to a stove or, like it's just all the visuals come into play.
I literally said that, like being handcuffed to a stove. They envision like, you're being handcuffed to a stove. The man is like, it's stroganoff or uppercuts. What do you do?
Right. And to be fair, as younger, I don't know how I would have processed that. I may have had that same reaction, to be honest, before I had been in the world for a second. But I don't know. I can't, speak to that person that I used to be. If you like the short clip and want to watch another short clip, click here. Or if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.